Um, Not really. We sure do. Remember everybody said, we need that girl on with that country voice. And I was like, oh, who? 𝐖𝐤𝐟𝐞𝐲. It's not even letting my friend. Oh, they said she got to upgrade. Hello, everyone. Just file in. I'm looking for FJ. I know she's mad at me. Wifey in training. Hey, Shavis. I'm going to see you in a little bit. Well, hello, Mr. Al. You know, since I call you Alvin. Hello, Creole Boy 504. How are you on this wonderful, wonderful Saturday? I'm just waiting for my co-hosts and everybody else to file in. Is my hair sticking up? Think. Yeah, you getting dressed? Girl, you know I've been in here. T here. She over there in the corner with her boo thing. And I'm just... Oh, so it told me that you need to upgrade your Instagram app. So remember, so just go and upgrade or update your Instagram app and then come back on. That's what it told me when I tried to request for you to come on. So I wonder where AKFree is at. Because I know she always mad at me because I'm always late. Oh, that's fine. I just got this all in one on. And T real casual. She half naked. She is half naked. Ain't got no clothes on. Nothing. Okay? That's my... Hey, T. Hello, how are you? Well, not that naked. You know, you got to excuse me and give me grace for today.
Do I?
You do, because you know all the stuff I got going on today.
Yeah, but this is every time we do it, but
no, it's not. Well, a couple times I was on time, right? I think.
You do know people can hear this when they go back for the replay, right? Hear this foolishness.
Yeah, I know. You know, I told y'all don't bury me on time. This show is 30 minutes late at least. Okay. She's. Well, hello. My guest, my good girlfriend, she's coming on, but she has to do something with the Instagram app in order to get on. So we can preface our conversation because everyone knows who you are. You know, we always have these conversations. And look what I got today.
I don't think. Is that a microphone?
It is. So when certain people get on my nerves on this live or say something annoying, I'm gonna pull out my microphone.
Really? Okay. And then what happens after the mic? You just get the mic.
That's when signal. You know I'm annoyed. Okay.
Okay, got it. I love it. I need one in my life. You know my birthday's coming up. So I'm gonna need that in my life.
Yeah. So okay, let me see. I think I got. Oh yes. She's back. Yay! She's in. So yes. So today, our conversation, while she's trying to come in, our conversation today starts off part 1, and part 1 is talking about wifey in training. And I wanted to have this conversation. I really want this to be surrounded around a novel that I want to start writing. And wifey in training is just the preface of what type of woman are you building, right, in order to be a great wife. to whomever that lucky person is. I want to say hello to everyone who's on the live so far. And it's nothing wrong with creating a strategy around something, a milestone that you will have in your life, right? When we're trying to buy a new car, we create a strategy, hopefully. We don't just walk on the lot and just pick out a car and didn't do the research. So I
Or at
think
least
a
we
lot of,
shouldn't.
right,
Or at least we shouldn't.
right,
Because I think to your point, some of us do. We just go, I need a new car, and you just show up. I think the key is to have an action plan, right? What is your action plan for whatever, for buying that car, that house, for that career, education, being a partner? I think one of the things we don't learn how to do, hopefully, and we're pouring into our kids, is to have some kind of action plan, right? And it's not set in stone.
right,
Plans, things go awry, you need to be flexible, whatever the plan is. But the point is, have some kind of plan in place. And if I think we're good at having it in some places in our life, some of us are very action plan when it comes to some things. Maybe it is buying that car, but then you don't do the same research when it comes to finding a partner or doing the research so you can be a partner yourself. Because this is twofold, right? It is about, well, who do you want in a spouse, but it's also about who are you as a spouse.
right, right. And making sure that on your wedding day will be the start to presenting and utilizing the best version of yourself. Because a lot of times women, right, we want a husband, we want a house, we want the kids, but when we get into that, we're like, ugh, I didn't know it was going to be like
You
this.
like this.
Right,
And,
right.
and you don't know everything. As a married woman of almost 15 years, and a mother of a soon to be 17-year-old next week, I will tell you, as much as you think you know, there's still a lot more to know, right? Which is okay.
Yeah,
So one of the first things I would say to anyone is, don't think you're going to know every single thing when you say I do.
that's
I
right.
think the message that I want to drive home today is that there are some basics that you need to have
That's right.
when you are entering in a marriage or just a partnership. Because the first thing I want to say is, don't think that marriage is a requirement for your life.
That's right.
I
Hey,
think that depending on the generation that you're growing up in, it felt like a requirement. Like, when like for me, the women in my life were like, okay, yeah, get your degree, pumpkin, because they were, part of that, okay, move women further. But it was also still, and make sure you are available and find a good husband, right? So be educated, but also, and what I want, now I'm like, okay, well, it's not a requirement and I don't have any regrets about it,
right.
but it is not a requirement. You're not any less if you don't desire to be a wife or a mother, because that's another thing. Like,
Yeah,
if a
yeah,
woman says,
yeah.
I don't want to be a
Right,
mother, it's
right,
sort of like, oh my God. I'm like,
right. And if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it, right? Um,
don't.
but because a lot, it's not cookie cutter, right? A lot of women don't
Mm-mm.
desire to be a bride. A lot of women don't desire to be a mother. So
Mm-hmm.
when I start looking at the context of it, right? Because the context is that if I bring it back to 1999, when I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, if I prepared for that, right, it would have been not so much easier. I just would
Mm-hmm.
have been more aware. So we
Absolutely.
are educators.
Absolutely.
And we understand that with education brings direction, it brings more thought into the whole process of whatever you're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk
Mm-hmm.
to women who are aspiring to be a wife one day, and how we can create these different value systems, belief
Mm-hmm.
systems, attributes, characteristics that
Mm-hmm.
will enable us to be better wives once we get married. And that's why I
Absolutely.
chose you two, because you two are wives that have been in the game with their husbands for over a decade. And Hi, Miss Ketasha, Miss KJ Lawrence. That's my other super wife that I have on here.
Hi, how are
and
you?
Hi.
Oh, how you
How you
doing?
doing? Good to
and
meet
this
you.
is my good friend up north, right? This is
Okay.
Freeman Jones. And Freeman Jones, that is my good friend Ketasha. And I'm saying the wrong names because both of y'all have y'all stage names and I just messed that all up.
It's
AKFree
okay.
and
It's
KJ.
okay.
All right.
It's
But
okay. I want to shout. I see a couple of guys I think came in here. I want to shout out my friend K Boogie, one of the DJs from my other show. He's always a faithful listener, and I really appreciate him. So a shout out to the dudes that are tuning in because I think this is just as important for them to hear
yeah,
as it is for the ladies
yes,
to
most
hear
definitely.
too.
And hello, I want to shout out 𝐖𝐲𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐧𝐠. That is my good brother sister. All right, so shout out to her for getting on, and she's adding people so people can
That's it.
come join on. I love it.
Share it.
Thank you so much, 𝐖𝐲𝐚𝐢𝐧𝐢𝐧𝐠. This is gonna be a good because both of you women, I value the things that you tell me on a daily basis or a weekly or a monthly basis. I have always valued your drive and the things that you all have accomplished. Know that I would not put anybody on this show that I didn't feel like knew, right? Or had the background in this topic, right? I'm not going to go and find somebody working at Hyundai and ask them how I could buy a Benz, right? So I want to make sure that we understand that I have two wives that's in it, still married, and have went through the process of dating and finding the man of their dreams. So let's get into the conversation, ladies.
Okay.
All right.
First of all, I love that introduction. And
Thank you.
I think that's a gem that you said, like, you're not going to talk about being a wife without wives, right? I think it's important that you go to the right people for the right things. Again, I'm not going to my broke friend for financial support, right? But I also want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm only sharing my experience. I think we become experts through our experience,
Yes.
but expert I put in air quotes because, I may be more knowledgeable than someone who isn't married, but I don't know everything, right? It's a journey, and I'm constantly learning, and trying to get better in this journey. For me, it is sharing my experience. And I got married a little late. I wasn't a young, I think also when you talk about being a wife, I think that what you offer depends on where you were when you became a wife, right? So I was 30, 34, 30, 36 when I got married. I wasn't the young, fresh out of college bride. So there were some things that I think I walked into wifehood with because I had seen a lot of married couples already. I had read books,
Okay,
you know.
let's stop there. Put a pin on that. You said you saw a lot of married couples already. So a lot of
Hmm.
women are growing up now not seeing a lot of married couples, not
Hmm.
seeing a lot of positive married couples. What they do see, if they see any, is the grandmother raising the grandchildren, mama single, mama have multiple boyfriends, mama's not doing too well. So you see what I'm saying? A lot of times young
Hmm.
women, they happen to see that. And then they see like a Cardi B marriage, right? Or they see something that's not, we don't really know if that's real, right? Because it's media. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
so let's start there. Um, do you believe that a woman that aspired to be a bride, right, or be in a marriage, do you think that she need to see and live an experience of married couples first?
I'm gonna let our guest chime in first.
That wasn't my experience. I
Hmm.
come from a tree of man eaters. So
I
that
love
wasn't
it.
my,
Hmm.
yeah, that wasn't my experience. I knew what I wanted for self. And so for me, it was about taking responsibility for my own life. But more importantly, because I had been through a very tumultuous relationship, um, I stopped took a beat and went to therapy so that I could heal.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was healing, in the process of healing, I discovered what I wanted, what I didn't want, what I was willing to stand for, and what I was willing to not stand for. So in a haphazard way, I started to date with intention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that I was looking for a husband, but I definitely was looking for a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And out of looking for a partner,
that's a gem.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and out of looking for
That's
a
a gem.
partner, I found my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Absolutely.
also
That's a gem.
31. Yeah, I was also 31 when I got married. So again, not a young bride. I wanted to let you know. Also not a young bride. And had just a little bit more of an understanding of what this thing called life is all about and how it works. So yeah, out of healing and not wanting to repeat former mistakes, I learned where my boundaries were and what they looked like and what I needed to fuel my soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that started with self. So I wasn't looking for a man to complete me. I was looking for a man to complement me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we can say that step one is
Healing.
healing,
Be a healed
right?
person.
Because you have to heal from the childhood trauma you may have succumbed to. You have to heal from any level of dysfunction that you grew up with. And sometimes you have to heal from actual people outside of your family, right? Maybe you had toxic relationships. So once you begin to separate yourself and you understand the right thing for you and the wrong thing for you, because you understand self-love, right? Then you can start that healing process. You know, I have,
and it's also as simple. I think to answer your initial question, Catherine, I don't think it's a requirement. I think it is beneficial and a best practice if you are around and expose yourself to married couples, and that doesn't mean that it's that it's healthy, because sometimes seeing what's unhealthy is just as educational as seeing what is healthy.
Absolutely.
Right? So the relationships that I saw ran the gamut, and they weren't from my mom. My mom was married 3 times. I thought she was widowed with my dad. So when I say I saw marriages, that wasn't necessarily my mother. It was my grandparents, it's uncles and uncles. It was, cousins who were married. It was, as I got older, friends who got married young. I think seeing a variety of things. It's just like, I'm going to go back to your example earlier about buying a car. You go look at a lot of cars before and you may have in your mind, I want this car. And that's fine. But when you get there, you're looking at a plethora of things. Yeah. You're not just looking at one thing. Yeah. And so I love what you said about that. Wasn't my experience. I wasn't around a bunch of married couples. That's okay. It's not a requirement, but I think it is healthy, though, if you're thinking about this may be something I want, having married couple friends, having, those relatives or whatever. And I also think it's important to unwrap narratives, right? And really do get to honesty, because just because that couple was married 50 years, I'll never forget this woman at my church. Her and her husband were married like 62 years prior to his death. And she was talking to us one day as young people, because, we want to be married at it. And she was like, look, all these years first of all, she was like, we came from a different era where you just did not separate. You just didn't. Yeah. You didn't divorce. But that doesn't mean you didn't separate. She was like, there were times for years we slept in separate rooms. Right. She was like, there were many times. And so what I think we also should do is stop looking at, I want to be like my grandparents, or I want to be like Deacon and Deaconess so-and-so. Do some research, ask some questions, unwrap some narratives. I have a good friend right now. His parents are still married, and they cannot stand each other. They just can't say why they won't divorce. I don't know. That's people. That's your business. I'm quoting Tabitha Brown because that's your business. But I want to say that unwrapped narratives, don't just look at the surface of marriage, because marriage comes with all the hills and valleys of life. And I think also, to your point, Catherine, childhood traumas, yes, making sure you're healed. And it doesn't even have to be drastic like you went through childhood traumas. How about get over your last breakup? Yeah. How about just get over that? If you still hurting over your high school boyfriend dumping you, or your college boyfriend dumping you, or the last, I'm gonna need you to work on that, because that happens.
Get
That,
over.
or your previous divorce or
Yeah.
whatever. It's okay to hurt and all that kind of stuff. It's not okay to stay there,
Yeah, and
right?
it's
So
There
you
you
have
go.
to
That
get
part.
rid of it.
into your
That part.
relationship, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna, if
have
you
to
don't deal with it, it's gonna pop up. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
Inside your relationship. So
everywhere.
I want to keep it going, keep it flowing.
Okay.
So we talked about dealing with your healing first. You need to go through that healing stage. You need to get over it, ladies. If he is old Black history, we need to make him old Black history. But let's move forward. What about getting okay, because let's just use me as an example, right?
Mhm.
I'm looking for a man that is equally yoked, right, or better than what I am composed of, right? So
What
that's
does
just
that
my
mean?
equally yoked,
What does
right?
equally yoked mean?
Equally yoked meaning that we're on the same playing field. We have the same vision, right, of what marriage is. I'm also looking for a man that wants to be a husband, not
There
just
Hmm.
you
a man that would be okay with taking a wife, right? I want
Can I just
to,
interject right there? That
yes,
part of wanting to be a husband, that's super. That's like a, so women, we often, because we're lonely and we need something to do, we don't date with intention.
That's right.
Maya Angelou said it. When you show me who you are, when a person shows you who they are, believe them.
believe them. Mm-hmm.
If a man tells you that, hey, I'm just kicking it, well, he just
Yeah.
kicking it. He told you, he's gonna let you know who he is.
Yes, he is. Hmm.
So when he tell you I'm just kicking it, if you're not just trying to kick it, then you need to move on, honey, because you
Right.
can't make what you don't have.
And don't be
It's
mad at
not,
him for that.
and
As
don't
a
be
matter of
mad at
fact,
him because
thank
he's
him for
letting
that.
you know
Say thank you.
he's
Thank
setting
you.
the
I
stage.
appreciate that.
Yeah, he's setting the stage for where he's at with it. Well, if
Yeah.
that's not what you're looking for, then he is not the guy for you. And you can't convince him of that. Ain't no time to be had. You're not the one. He's letting you know that you are not the one.
That's right.
Because when you find the one, all that shit go out the window.
It really does.
As
It
my
really does.
grandmother
And
would
it's not
say,
even so much that you're not the one. He ain't the one. That's what's
he
most
ain't the one.
important.
He may not
He's not
even
the
be
one, and
ready
that
for
is
it.
okay.
And it's
He's
more than
fine. He's got a great bank account. He's got all of that. If a man is honest with you, and again, it depends on when you start dating with intention. Because I love, that you said that. Where are you when you enter in this pool? Are you in your 20s and 30s when you enter in this pool? Because that's a different vision. Right
that's a
now, if
different
I
vision.
was to divorce and become single again, someone that is divorced, someone who has a career, someone who but I'm entering it very differently.
Very
So
different.
I think the most important thing to me is, what are you putting out there? When you talk about being a wife, what are you offering first? I'll never forget my pastor said he preached singles ministry, and he said, you all are asking for things that you don't have. If you want good credit,
That
you
part.
better come to the table with good credit. If you want this, you better come with this. Like, think about what you're
If
asking
you want a
for.
man that's in shape,
Yeah.
then your
Right.
stomach should not be folding.
And those are the things you have to ask. And I don't think I will be, listen, I'll be alone and lonely before I take on something that I don't really want. I will not settle. I know, right? And ladies, here's the thing that I try to say. Okay, I am building myself to reciprocate and to attract what I want, right? So if I
Absolutely.
am working and have good credit, and if I have my car, if I have my home, if I have my kids, and if I'm dating, I'm looking for someone who I can not only compliment, right? I'm looking for
Mhm.
someone who's compatible, right? And someone,
Yes.
and that's why I say equally yoked. Because in my arena, right, it costs certain things to maintain my household. It costs certain things to maintain his household. And certain things that he may have going on may not be compatible with my lifestyle. He may not even be able to afford my T-Mobile bill for me and my daughter, right? So listen, if he's not equally yoked, then how can we even get in the game? When the coach is coaching, right? He's looking for star players. I'm looking for a star player. So that's what I'm talking about when we say equally yoked. But
But when you say you're looking for a star player, you're also offering a star
oh
too.
yeah, I am.
Again, it kind of circles back to, again, when we talk about how to prepare, which is what this whole context is about. I think having a sense of self
Yeah,
is really important. What
Super
do you
important.
want? What is it that you want? And be flexible, because things will change, whatever, but at least
Absolutely.
have an idea of
yeah.
who you are.
Get your stuff together first, sis, because see,
Exactly.
this is the problem. A lot of times people want stuff that they don't already have. And that's what I say. You want a man that make $100,000 and you working at McDonald's making $23,000 if you make that much at McDonald's, right? So my thing is you need to work on yourself. If you want a man that's educated, then hopefully you have an education, right? Hopefully, if you want a good father, hopefully you're a great mother and you continue to work in that process.
If
Gotta
you're
put out
already
there.
a parent, because you may not, you may not be that already. You may not be that already. I think also know what's most important to you.
Right.
Like my good girlfriend, Catherine, my good girlfriend, Catherine, finances is a huge thing for her. Is a huge thing for her. That
Hello.
is not as huge. That's not number one for me, right?
Right.
I'm not saying finances are not as important, but I don't care about I make more, he makes it. I don't care. I make six, so you better. That's not for me. I say that to say, ladies, and please chime in, that you have to know what's most important to you. What is it that is most important to you? And that has to be something you build within yourself. Social emotional, is that most important to you? I'm living in a certain area. Do you still want to be a career woman when you're married? Then that means you can't marry a man who desires a wife who's going to stay at home. Also, ladies, understand that being a wife and a mother are two different roles. Do you understand?
That
Do you
part.
have an
And
idea of what role is?
one is higher than the other. If we're really,
Mm-hmm.
and that's super important too, because and I'm seeing this recently.
Talk
That
about it, Ketasha. I can hear you. But
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing this recently that women are having babies older in life, right? So you kind of think, hey, I'm going to live my life and then I'm going to have my children. And for me, don't lose yourself. We all lose ourselves a little bit after we have a baby, because that's natural.
Natural.
But don't lose yourself in these kids. And I like to say, in the famous words of Ebony K. Williams, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. They gonna be fine no matter what, because we're mamas. And mamas take care of their children.
And so do daddies. So do daddies.
And so do daddies. And so with that being said, those kids are gonna be all right. And they're gonna grow up and live their lives as they see fit. Take care of yourself. Because if mama ain't smiling, the whole house is miserable.
Hello. Mm-hmm.
So fuck them kids. They'll be all right.
And take care of yourself.
And take care of yourself. Now, I'm not saying don't neglect those kids, but what I'm trying to explain is that you can have enough capacity for both, and you can make room for both.
Amen.
You gotta be a woman first.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
oftentimes I see that across the board. I've done it myself. And when I had to pull me back in, I said, okay,
Me too.
my baby is good. Listen, it's time for me to get my shit back together. I'm looking raggedy. All right, this ain't gonna work. Come on, Ketasha, get it together. So I'm saying, kids are great. They're your babies. They come out of you. All of that's amazing. Fuck them kids, and make sure that you have yourself together, because them children, they're gonna do them. They're gonna be grown. They're gonna leave you. They're gonna have their own lives.
Right. If you're doing it right, if you're doing parenting right, your kids will grow and leave and have their own life if you're doing it right.
There you go. And if you're not taking care of yourself, guess what? They're gonna grow up and not take care of themselves. And now everybody's a mess.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's a mess.
see me practice self-care, because I'm teaching mine already, who is a male. Self-care. If you're feeling anxious, take a minute. Take a breath. Stretch. Do what you got to do. Mama experienced the same thing. I don't want you to have the anxiety I once had. Take a breath. Take a beat. Teach your kids self-care by doing it for yourself. That's the best gift you can give them, because this world is mean. And a lot of these kids can't cope.
That's right. That's right.
And we got to teach them coping mechanisms, and we got to teach them how to deal with shit.
And we
How
got
do we do that? By leading by example.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
That's very true. And a lot of times we don't understand. Jay-Z said, you know, we don't have the tools, right? And a lot of times as parents, we don't have the tools, and we don't go seek out somebody to help us get the tool, right? So that's very important in becoming a wife or whatever type of person you want to be. To better yourself, you have to seek out someone wiser than you, right?
Absolutely.
Girlfriends from many different levels in life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Many different places. And it's one that I talk to if I'm feeling sad and need advice, or just it's another one if I call, if I just need a yes person in my corner. And then it's Freeman Jones if I call, if I need to know the real about myself. And it's Ketasha if I call to see if I'm leveling up the way I'm supposed to level up. You got to have people in your life that will offer you wisdom and knowledge, because if you are the only person in your circle that's the smart one, right?
You're in a wrong circle.
Wrong circle.
So ladies, you got to open up your circle. And just like I believe it was Ketasha that said earlier, you have to see, I just had a brain fart. You have to be able to find out the information if you want it. That wasn't exactly what you said, but you said something to that tune. So
do the research. Do the research. Read some books. One of the things that I think was to my advantage in terms of marrying older was that I had done both intentional and unintentional research, right? Because there was a time I wanted to be married young. It was all in my diary. I'm going to have this. And, you know, you have it all mapped out in your mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am a dreamer. And I believe, dream it. Put it together. I don't care how far-fetched it is, right? But you know, because I was older and dating and, you know, this boyfriend didn't work out, I was, you know, single and celibate for so many years and, you know, getting my spiritual life together, getting my own career together and things like that. You know, there was an advantage to that. There was an advantage I've read. I'll never forget one of the best books ever to read, ladies, prior to getting married, is a book called Surrendered Wife. I forget the woman's name. Surrendered Wife. Written by this woman, Dr. Something. It was an Oprah book club pick. And in the first book club I ever belonged to, my girlfriend picked this book, and none of us were married. We was all single, okay? And one of our girlfriends was getting divorced. And we were like, what the hell are you picking this bullshit for? Blah, 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 blah. We read it. When I tell you, it is one of the best books I read prior to being a wife. Because what she talked about was how we get bogged down in wife and motherhood, and, you know, and how as women we put this cape on and nobody asks us to put that cape on. And why are you treating your husband like that? Just because he don't do it the way you do it, is it getting done? And stop dogging him out for that. And if you're not getting your hair and nails done, that's nobody's fault but your own, because you're not taking care.
That's right.
I mean, it was a great book written by a white woman. It was great. And so I say all that to say you can do both intentional and unintentional research while you're dating, because the men that you're dating and it's not working out, that's good research. Your heart may have been broken, but what did you take out of that? See, too many of us come out of breakups and we don't take the gems from that breakup.
That's what I call
exactly. You just want to focus on, I was hurt, he did this, she did this to me. Yeah, but there's something in learning that. It's something in learning that, and not just what he or she did. Own your stuff too. Maybe I could have done this a little better. I didn't see this coming. Why is that? How could I? There's something, because I believe that all relationships lead to the ultimate relationship if you bring the gems and the lessons out of it.
That's right.
If you don't, then you'll just repeat the cycle.
That's so funny you said that. I actually had a conversation with my ex-cousin-in-law today. I have his kids here with me, and but he had been a part of our family since high school. So my family we love him. It is what it is. They didn't work out. They got married young. It didn't work. He's getting married again. And so I called to congratulate him because, of course, the babies told me. And so I said, call to congratulate you. And he was like, oh, thank you, cuz. And I said, well, tell me this. It's been a while because they've been divorced for 5 years. What are you going to do differently that you didn't do before?
Yes.
And he said, look what he said. He says, I'm going to date my wife.
Mm.
Now, this young man is 32.
Mm.
He says, I'm going to date my wife.
Mm.
And I said, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
That's huge for him. That's huge for him.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And reevaluating what you went
Reevaluating and lessons learned. That's how you get. Yeah, that's how you make it better.
Yeah, and what kind of
acknowledge the bullshit. You gotta acknowledge it.
Right. And you have to, and even if you weren't married, like I wasn't married, I was in a relationship for 12 years, and I'm very transparent about that. I will never encourage a woman to ever spend that much time in a relationship. But in hindsight, you know, looking back, and that's a whole nother show for a whole nother time, right? But in hindsight, when I went through my detox, because I had to, you know, remove this man that I was with for 12 years, in my life, spiritually, mentally, physically, you know what I mean? So when I was in my I call it my detox period, right? On my retreats that I used to have with myself alone, right? Talking to God, right? And when I used to have these conversations, I thought about those things I didn't do in the relationship, because I'm not perfect and I made mistakes. So one thing, ladies, that I want to say that, and I want to be transparent about this, the whole 12 years I was with this man, I never bought lingerie, right? The 12 years I was with this man, I never had a candlelit dinner, or I never facilitated a candlelit dinner.
Any romance.
It was not romantic. It was, we loved each other. We liked being around each other. We had sex, but it just wasn't romantic.
You wasn't girlfriend. Y'all stopped being boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, we stopped being girlfriend and boyfriend probably 2 or 3 years into the relationship, but we were just there, right? And we were just growing.
And it was comfortable.
Yeah, and it was comfortable. I forgot about myself. I was raising my kids, you know what I mean? And I was taking care of him. I did not look, you know, I look at old pictures and I was like, oh, I was fat, or, you know, oh, I was like not wearing the best things. I wasn't taking care of myself, right? Because that wasn't my focus. So it's very important, like, you reevaluate. And maybe, you know, when our relationship dissolved, I said I wouldn't even be with a girl either that didn't buy lingerie for 12 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I contributed to the fizz out, right?
Yeah.
Also, so now, and I like what your cousin said, your uncle, right? I like
ex-cousin-in-law. So he's
ex-cousin-in-law.
Ex-cousin.
I like what you said, because I said the same thing. I will date my man, right? I will be romantic. I'm gonna pull out all the stops.
Even if he's not, because my husband is not romantic. And he's a great guy, but he tried, bless his heart. It ain't his thing. It ain't his ministry. It's not his ministry. So those things I have to orchestrate.
Right.
I had to get over my ego and say, is this what's important to you? Then facilitate it.
Right.
That's not who he is. You can't make him, you can't fit a square into a circle. That's not who he is. So if I want romance, I orchestrate. Now he all game for whatever. He down for the cause. He down for the cause.
But he ain't the planner. He ain't gonna be the party planner.
And it's not in him. And it, because every time he do it, it went left. So I've taken that burden off of him, and I've said, I'm gonna do that part. I just need you to participate. And he's in right there.
Absolutely.
Participate in you know, in whatever I have planned.
And being able to say, I know that, again, for those that are listening, it kind of goes back to me for what's most important to you. Because if you really need a romance guy, then a person with your husband's personality may not be the person for you, right? If you don't always, because everything is a trade-off. And Catherine knows I say this all the time. That narrative about the man of your dreams and the woman of your dreams is a false narrative. Because what you dream, because when I dream, honey, I go to the stratosphere, right? I go to the stratosphere. I do, because that's what dreams should be. So I'm not saying stop dreaming. What I'm saying is it is too much pressure on another human being to be everything in your dreams.
Yeah.
And also your partner is not there to make you whole. You
Absolutely.
whole.
Yes.
That's some real grown
and
shit.
that's why
It is.
You've got to be whole. Person does not complete you. I hate when people say, "Oh, he completes." He don't complete you, and you don't complete him. You got to be a whole person, and being a whole person meaning that you're healing, or you're in the process of healing, because that's what that looks like.
That's right.
They're there to compliment you and bring out
Absolutely.
the better.
𝐲𝐿𝐴HRPN said it exactly the same time it came out of your mouth, Ketasha.
Yeah.
KJ.
It is a compliment. And understand that as a whole person, there are things your partner is not responsible for, but there are things that are. There's things that my partner is responsible for when we are talking about partnership and marriage, because, you know, I'm not married to myself, right? So, you know, understand what is his responsibility, and pouring into you and being with you, whatever, and you into them, and then what's your responsibility for yourself, right? For your, it's just like, you know, as you can see, I'm Baptist. Nobody's responsible for getting you into heaven but you.
There you go.
Right. And so in thinking about being a wife, understand that, and I've had to learn, you know, I think it's romantic and sweet to say he's my everything. I mean, it's sweet, and so I'm not going to tell a baby not to say that, but don't feed too much into that narrative, because no one person is your everything. Not your spouse, not your kids, not your bestie, whatever. And that's too much pressure, right? And I think the other thing is for anybody. So in preparing to be a wife, know that you're not going to be everything. You can't. That's just impossible. So don't put that on yourself.
Prepare the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I heard someone say the other day, they said, and y'all might want to go listen to this podcast. It's called The Cheat Code, right? And it's a podcast about two married couples, right? Two people that were married, that were not fulfilled in their marriages and went to find something to fulfill them, right? Hello, Tiana. I want to thank the people that's coming in. We'll take a pause. I want to say hello to my brother. He's on. Hey, John.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, John.
Hey, John, do you see Ketasha?
Hey, John.
And
hey, y'all.
My good girlfriend, Tiana. I'll see her in a few, I believe. She's from New Orleans, too, of course. You know.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to make myself an honorary NOLA person. I'm gonna have to make myself honorary.
Person. Which Ketasha, she said my mama and Sean's mother, you know, my last relation, you know, the other Sean. She was like, it's coconuts versus, what did you say?
The Bayou.
The Bayou versus
the coconut and the Bayou. I was like, we're gonna have all kind of roots happening. It's gonna be all kind of spells and carrying on.
Don't let me pull out my sage.
Right. Somebody gonna have the sage, the other one gonna have the chicken foot. I'm like, I don't know about this. Didn't I say that at first? I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, she acting like she don't have a chicken foot up. Oh, my good friend KJ Lawrence on here she know a lot about chicken feet and lettuce.
Yeah, I was like, Kat, I'm a little nervous. But you know, it's funny that you say that, because I think it's also important as you are preparing yourself. You know, you're creating yourself. First of all, think like a wife, right? Think like what. Yeah. And not just think like a wife, but think like the wife you're going to be. If you're not the cook, then that you need to be honest about that. Like if you're not, like I know Catherine, whatever man, who is going to be fortunate enough to marry her, he gonna eat good. Oh, honey, he gonna eat real good.
That's a NOLA thing, though. That's a NOLA.
Honey. And I'm the same way. It's a Southern thing. It's a whatever thing, you know, because that was part of what the ladies in my life poured into me. You better know how to cook for that man. You better know how to be beautiful. So, but if that's not you, or that's not your upbringing, that's okay. It really is. You just have to know what it is and be okay with it when you again are intentionally dating. Because if that man wants to cook, then that's not you, and that's okay.
And
that is okay.
Because I'm looking for a man that know how to cook. Because I cook. I was 12 years a slave. I'm not cooking no more. I'm a cook. I'm lying. I'm a cook.
See, again, where am I in life? Right.
I'm a cook.
Right.
And if I get what I want, my love language, if he prescribed to it, I'm a cook everything. I'm a cook stuff I ain't never cooked before.
Come on with the mic though. Come on with the mic though. Come on with the mic. Come on through with the microphone.
I'm here to cook. Listen, if my mama said you better cook for them because they ain't gonna do nothing but shit it out. But my thing is, if they say a way to the man's heart is cooking, now I should have been married 5 times already. So I'm confused.
I agree. I also shared. That's funny you said that, Catherine, because I have a friend who's intentionally dating right now, and so she can cook really well. She's more of a baker, but she can cook really well. Yeah. But she's super successful, good looking girl. She checks all the boxes. And I told her, she was like, you got to teach me how to, do this whole, because what Catherine and I have in common is the hosting thing. We host really well. We have all the dishes, the sternals. We're into the
the atmosphere. Me too.
Yeah. Into that. So that's not her thing. Now she'll curate something and pay somebody to make it work, but that's not her thing. And what I told her was, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So if cooking ain't your thing, but your man like to eat, he don't know that the shit came from Publix. Girl, put that shit on a plate
and put that shit on his asterisk on top.
Yeah, and wrap that shit up in cellophane and put it in the microwave like you've been slaving all day. He never has to know. Now, I'm not saying keep it from you. You can't cook, but as long as you have a plate of food for him and you've plated it, that's love.
That's what's important.
This ain't what I do, but I'm gonna make sure you good.
But also you got to be honest in the beginning and let that man can't cook. Don't do that and try and trick him because that's catfish.
No.
Like, don't be the person who can't cook and you're not gonna make it look pretty and you like, nah, dude, cook for yourself. Like you can't be all of that.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So my thing is I can't bake, right? I can't bake a consistent cake. My cakes be flat. It's just real bad. So I'm not even gonna do it, right? So, but I'm gonna go find a bakery that can do the cake, bake the cake the way that he like it, I like it, the family like it, and I can even dress it up, like for Halloween when I put
in a beautiful cake dish.
Listen, it's all right.
I have a girlfriend who I love, one of my book club girlfriends who does not cook, and she real fancy and fruitful. She real fancy, and her husband know my boo can't cook, but she will order. We gonna do Blue Apron. We gonna do all of that. He know he gonna eat and he gonna eat well. It's just not gonna be and she does cooking classes. We'll do cooking, and she's all of that.
It's not in her.
I got my mic because somebody in the comment section says she sure can't. I can't bake when I say that.
Wait a minute. And so they get the mic.
They get the mic. Ma'am, I cannot, but that's why I need her to bake those brownies.
But that's your business, though. But that's your business.
That's absolutely your business. And I
get the one in the middle.
Summarize that. Yeah, just to summarize that. It's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Thank you.
And be honest about it. And be honest about it. And
well, what about making so I'm 42, right? Mm-hmm. And if I didn't know how to cook, wouldn't it be a part of wifey and training? Not
necessarily,
Not necessarily.
No, I have great friends who are chefs, and they do meal preps, and it's just about facilitation. I mean, facilitating for me. My husband can't iron and he can't cook, so if he needs, and he sends everything to the cleaners, and he's really really good at ordering takeout. He's gonna plate it for me and everything.
Oh,
I'm okay with that. Because I know if he ironed that shirt, he's gonna look like a mess when we leave, right? If that shirt is wrinkled or whatever, because he cannot, him and the iron don't get along. Well, I like clothes to be ironed and pressed. So that's not his thing. I'm not gonna make him do it. He gonna put the shit in the cleaners. He gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put this shit in the cleaners, especially if we out of town. Hey, I'm gonna send it to the hotel. They're gonna take care of it. It's gonna be back by that time. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's just about facilitating. He cannot cook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think again, it's about going back.
Outsource that shit.
But it's also going back to knowing thine self.
Knowing
and
thyself.
owning thine self.
Owning
Whatever,
thyself.
like you said earlier, whatever your ministries are, like I'm a girl. I don't want to change oil. I don't want to switch no tires. I don't want, there's some things there's some things I'm very traditional about. Some things not so much for
Yeah.
me, right? It's for me, I understood, for me, in my brain, I knew the kind of role of wife that worked for me and the role that I wanted. And so did my husband. He was like, this is how I see husband. This is how I see wife. And that meshed. Again, it all circles back to thine self. Would
Yes.
it own it? And it's okay. And also own your limitations.
Yes.
Also
There you
own
go.
your limitations.
Know
Because
what
I'm
you're
not going
good
to
at and
marry
know
the
what you're
guy that
not
lives in
good
the
at.
gym. I'm not going to
Absolutely.
be married to the guy that lives in the gym and wants me in the gym. Now,
Oh,
that doesn't mean I don't care
but no,
about my
yeah,
health,
it's the
but
opposite.
that's not
The
going to be
dudes that
me.
live in the gym, they don't be wanting no chick in the gym like that. Sometimes I've
Mm-mm.
been noticing, like, it's a lot of dudes that's like buff and tough, and they be having big girls at home. So,
I hate buff and tough,
Pushing it.
though. What?
um,
Buff and tough.
my friend T, her
And let me
trainer
say
was
this.
like that. I remember she told me that before. Like, she was like, her trainer had a
That
girl
don't have
who was
nothing to do with
into
that.
fitness.
That doesn't have anything to do with the value system. But I tell you what does, Kat, and
Yeah.
that is, so for me, the book that you talked about, for me, and I give this as a wedding gift to anybody who's getting married and I'm invited to their wedding. I always give these two books. It's called The Power of a Praying Wife and The Power of a Praying Husband.
The power
Mm-hmm.
of a praying
Of
wife.
a praying wife and The Power of a Praying Husband. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that stuck out to me the most, and it was written by a white woman, but this is for Black men in particular, and Black women in particular. We have it hard in this world, a little bit harder than everybody else. And so your home is your sanctuary, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you come home, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel loved, you want to feel nested, like, right, rested and nested. So one of the things that stuck out to me is that she talked about when you have a hardworking man, blue collar or white collar, they want to come home to a clean house that smells good.
Come on.
So I'll take you back to my dating days. I was all over the place. And sometimes, I'd work late or whatever. And if I had somebody picking me up, I would throw all my shit in the dishwasher. I'm talking about everything. Blankets, the purse, the earrings. But my house was clean. Now, they're not going in the dishwasher. They just here to pick me up or, for a minute or whatever.
I love it.
Everything was in if you open up the dishwasher, everything gonna fall out the dishwasher. But what you're not gonna come to is a dirty house.
Oh, awesome.
Men find that very unattractive across the board. That's men who make $10 an hour and men who make $150 an hour. Coming home to a nasty house is not okay.
That's true. That's good.
So you
Yeah,
want to talk about a
you
wife
gotta
being
get that.
trained, that's it.
And I stress that because it's all a part of training. Like with my daughter, right? My oldest daughter is 22, and it's the same way for her. I teach her how to maintain a clean household. I don't have a boy, so I don't know what it is to teach a boy anything. But I train my daughter as to, even from little, how to clean up, and then how to clean up properly, how to organize, and how to take care of nice things.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing at someone say I'm about to light these scented candles. Right, I
Listen,
got candles on right now. I
listen,
got
you
all
gotta
kind of.
have
If
a
you go up into my
candle,
bedroom right now, you're getting vanilla and lavender. Like,
yeah.
if you got
Spray
allergies,
it in the
sorry.
air. Do what you
Yeah,
gotta do, but
and
keep
teach your
the
kids
counters clean.
how to
Yes.
maintain. Like, I always like white, right? White and grays.
Mm-hmm.
That's my color.
That's me too. I'm white and gold.
Yeah,
Yep.
white and grays, and I like golds too, right? And a lot of times, people with
I ain't
invite.
mad at you, Demetrius. I ain't mad at that, boo.
Yeah,
And again, outsource it if you're not a clean
outsource is
person.
good.
If you're trifling,
Yeah.
a maid costs you the same amount of money you spend at eating out on Friday. Every 2 weeks. Get you one, boo. Get you one. Cause sitting there feeling I'm tired, I can't do it. That's a joke.
Yeah,
Or
Make
you
sure the hand
51
clean
now,
yourself.
and you like, I'm just tired. I'm
yeah,
51
Don't
now.
do
I'm like, I'm over it.
yeah. Learn
So
how to put something together. Listen, ladies, you could go on Pinterest, find a picture of how you want your bedroom to look, right? And go shopping in Marshalls and Home Goods, or you can seek out help from one of your girlfriends that are very decorative or have a talent like that, right? And
mhm.
it's all little
Like
things
Catherine.
you can do
Yeah, she's very good. She's gonna decorate my Christmas tree when I get her here.
Yeah.
I'm
Ketasha, I'm gonna fly out to do your Christmas tree.
I'm a horrible Christmas. It's not my talent. I kill them all. I can't do it no more. I pay people to do them. It's not my thing. I can tell Catherine, I'm a woman of many trades. Christmas trees ain't one of them. I pay somebody to do my Christmas tree, and it's not about, oh, I don't have money for this. You have money for what you want to have money for. And so you have to make those sacrifices. But if you're a trifling woman and you know you're trifling because somebody done told you already, and you're trying to be somebody's wife, I'm gonna need you to budget in your budget every month about $250 because you're gonna need that $125 every 2 weeks for somebody to come in here and deep clean this house.
That's
that
it.
man will leave you
Yeah.
for being it.
Oh,
No,
I like
that's
the
right.
plug. Legacy in life. Thank you.
Yeah.
My brother on here, he said, hint, hint. Yeah, women definitely need to make sure that you have the ability. And I know there's a lot of men that are not like big on hands-on husband roles or hands-on living boyfriend situations, right? Because I had that before. It wasn't a big hands-on. He'll pay, but it wasn't big hands-on. So you want to make sure that as the woman, I think the woman sets the tone as far as decor and things like that. I used to have to ask, like, does this furry pillow bother you? Because I know some men are like real masculine and we can't make it neutral.
And see, my husband is just the opposite. He's a lot more artsy than I am. Like I'll say, this is what I want to look like. He's very good at, adding those kind of touches that we're like, I know I like artwork and I know I want a color scheme in a particular, and then he's not like the place that like I keep a place setting and all that kind of stuff. He's not like, I got all kind of glasses and dishes in place. And when you talk, like, cause I'm entertainment extraordinaire, child.
Oh Lord. Oh wait, we gotta pause.
Oh wait, who's getting the mic?
Demetrius,
Why is Demetrius?
Don't date a woman with a dirty house. Demetrius, amen to that.
Yes, and that goes in the mic.
And
that goes in the mic.
When the house is out of order, everything out of order.
Everything in order. Her house dirty, her drawers dirty, Demetrius. And I'm gonna put my mic down for that.
Yeah, right.
Her house dirty.
MJ's like, oh, that's the truth. Let me tell you, my mama used to tell me that if their shoes dirty, their drawers dirty, girl. Don't bother. Okay.
Now I will say this, and again, it all goes back to knowing thyself. You should know thyself, and it be your best self, but being equally yoked also, to your point, Catherine. How do you align with somebody? Like, is fashion important to you? Like, fashion is important to me, right? Like, I like to look good. I like for him to look good. Now, that doesn't mean you live up in Neiman's. What I'm saying is I like a man that has a sense of style, But if that's not you, then, understand that. But if that's what you want in someone else, because knowing thyself is one thing, but then knowing what you want out of your partner is just as important, right? And we've talked about this on previous shows. What do you want in a partner? What do you want? What is important to you, right? Because everything is not the same. Like, I see one person is you've seen couples, one person is very fashionable and the other person just like, look, my hair's combed and I'm clean. That's all you get, right? And that's okay if that works for the two of you. The same with religion and politics. I have seen very successful marriages when one worships at the synagogue, the other one is going to the church. It is okay. Us, and that doesn't have to necessarily be true, right? I mean, unless that's important to you, but don't immediately dismiss somebody because they don't go to the same church you go to. But if religion is important to you, so like for me, I could not be married to an atheist, right? Someone who doesn't believe in any kind of higher power. But if Judaism is your thing, if Hindu is your thing, is that, I'm okay with that because it's what feeds your spirit. That's what's most important to me. Not that you do what I do, right? And so don't discount somebody just because it doesn't look in the way you think it should be packaged. Because what I have learned is that God is going to send you somebody and it's not going to be in the package that you created in your head.
With the dirty house, though?
Not with the dirty house.
How do we circle back to the dirty house? What in the world?
Because you just said that like just because it don't look good.
Oh,
No, I'm saying if you're looking for the superficial, or you're looking for him to have the bend, or if you're looking for him to have a certain career, you know how we map out what he gonna be. We map out his career. He go to this church. He drive this car. You know how we do. That's what I'm talking about.
But being a Trump supporter won't work out, Demetrius. You are exactly right. Demetrius said Trump. Exactly right. And you know what, ladies? While I'm on my dating journey, right? I am looking. I'm not into looks like that. So here's what I need to be attracted to you, but.
Girl, you keep giving us more and more shoulder. Do you see that? Ketasha, do you see how every segment we get more, and now we getting a little cleave? Yes, come through, boo. Come through. Come through.
Now, can I just add to that really quick? Can I just add to that really quickly? Was super funny, right? So Catherine will let you know that I like nerds. I always have. I've dated everything. I've dated athletes because I had immediate access to that. My cousin played for the NBA, so we're the same age. We grew up together, so I had immediate access to ball players, and of course, where there's ball players and there's rappers, where there's rappers, there's drug dealers. I dated it all, but my preference, I love nerds, and so I've always seriously dated the professional guy, right? The professional man, white collar professional man. And
white. Oh, I thought you said a white man. I was sorry.
No, white collar.
Because I was about to.
Oh, and you went back to the mic.
Wait. So I was getting to something. So with that being said, I've dated the doctors, the lawyers, the bankers, all of that. What's so funny is that when I met my husband, he had on a polo and jeans and like little sneakers, like regular little sneakers. Doesn't wear a watch, doesn't wear no jewelry, don't wear no necklace. He wears glasses, and he had beautiful teeth. Hey, he had braces on his teeth at 45 years old.
Love it. So,
first of all, that spoke volumes to me, right? Let me tell you why. Because he cared about his appearance deeper than what I have on. That's number one. Number two, he wasn't flashy at all. And I've dated them, they pull up in the 745 with the rims on it and, the Hummers. And I hated that. That used to make me cringe. He picked me up on our first date in the company car, which was a Ford, whatever the little SUV for Ford is. I didn't think nothing about it because I was dating with intention. My husband was more successful than any other man I've ever dated. Deal with that. And it had nothing to do with what he had on.
That's nothing. Right.
Oh, and again, if style is your thing, that's fine.
None of that.
But what's on the surface? Like, you have to get to know the substance of a person.
Ain't nothing wrong with a polo. I love a good polo.
Oh no, ain't nothing wrong. My best friend, he be polo down, baby.
He's simple. And my point is that if I would have listened to everybody that was around me and say, oh, it's the shoes. When he got the good shoes on, it's this. Or when he wears a watch, you got to have a Rolex, it's this. I had dated all of that and got nowhere. Didn't even want to be with these people. And so my helpmate, my partner in life, didn't come packaged with glitter in a boat. He came regular dude, and guess what? Quiet as kept was more successful than any other man I had dated in terms of being professional.
I love
NBA. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking for a regular,
You better be a regular dude with a good job.
With a good, and that's what's important. All right.
Here she goes.
Y'all make me excited when y'all start talking about money, right? So, but it's a testimony behind that, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I used to, what scared me back in the day? Crackheads used to scare me, I used to see crackheads
scare everybody.
And I used to be like, I need to make sure I don't ever get like that, right? And I used to ask around the neighborhood, like, what happened to Beanpole? There was a crackhead in the neighborhood called Beanpole where I was living.
Right? We all had one. We all had a Beanpole. Had a Beanpole.
Yeah, Connie, I had to pull out the microphone because some people were saying some stuff that warranted the microphone.
So can I just offer this also when we're talking about as you're preparing, because everything we've said, all goes into this basket. But one of the most important things that I think people do not take seriously when you're thinking about marriage is what I call the B side of the vows, right? So, I've already shared I'm 51, so I grew up with records before they were cassette tapes and CDs, right? And the B side of a record were always the ones that were not hits or were not considered hits, right? They
Yep.
just put on the B side. The A side had all the hits. So be very clear that when you get married, the A side is better, richer, health.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the A side.
So what's the B side?
The B side is sicker, poor, and worse. And you can't have an A side without a B side. And
Mm,
what I have found, because again, in my intentional and unintentional research, is that the strength of your marriage is based on how you handle the B side,
right.
Absolutely.
not the A side.
The
And
A side is the high
I say this to Catherine all the time. I'm with finances, whatever kind of stuff, but something can happen and take all that away. What you gonna do?
That's why you got
I'm healthy today.
education to
Right. That's what I'm saying. That when it comes to marriage, you have to be able to work out the B sides.
yeah.
I needed to
And that's
know
why
that
you
I'm
got to
married to
be smart.
somebody that if chemo takes all of this out right here, that you still think I'm the most beautiful
Right.
thing that you see every
Right.
day.
And I agree with that.
Right.
But I would need people to stop thinking that, because me and FJ had this conversation and excuse me, AK Free. We had this conversation and that conversation was about, it was a monetary, a fiscal conversation where we talked about she alluded, okay, I just want to be transparent in our girl talk conversations. She
With the
alluded that
mic on?
I may sound like a shallow gold digger, right? So I'm not
I
saying
don't agree with that.
no. But when she said it, she was saying like sometimes I may articulate something that may sound more like it's centered around money than and surface things than centered around more in depth. So when I talk about money and when money makes me excited, it's the reason why is because we need money to survive, right? We
Mm-hmm.
need money to
Absolutely.
raise these children.
Absolutely.
I need money to cook a dinner, right? I need money to go on
Absolutely.
vacation. I need money to pay a car note or I will get repossessed, right? So when we start talking about, and this is why I'm so, because my father, right, was the money man, right? He used to, every time I didn't have a relationship with him, but he gave me money, right? That's what his role was, because everybody have different roles. My stepfather was my father. So and I don't even think he broke bread with me at all, right? Unless he probably had to or something, you know what I mean? But he raised me. So I'm not saying that money is everything, but money is a huge part of relationships and
Huge.
a huge
Huge.
part because I won't even and I don't want to sound bad, but I don't believe that if we're not at least close to the same tax brackets, that we are compatible. And here's why, right? And yes, I know I could lose my job. We all know that the economy can tank and things can happen. But I need to make sure that I have security in my family, right? And I agree. Let me pause because Tiana's just said that the wealth of white family is 10 times greater than that of the black family. Love is very important, but finances are just as important. We have
Yep.
to consider this as essential because if I have a mate that cannot afford, right, to configure and is not smart enough to know that he has to invest in something outside of his career, right, in order to make sure that his family will be straight, right, then he's not the one for me. And this is why I talk about when I'm dating at 42, I'm looking for a pension. I'm looking to see if this man has a retirement.
Absolutely.
I'm looking to see if he has something, a 403B outside of the 401k. And it's important because I have those things because I have daughters. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we have these things in place.
I
And
am not in disagreement with any of that.
so
I'm
if I
not in
sound like
disagreement
a
with
low
any of that.
saying I want a man with a retirement plan, I'm sorry. But white women, they know about the retirement plan and stuff like that because their mama told them about it. You know what I mean? These kids are setting up themselves. Their parents are setting up these kids to be wives. Those sons are being trained to be husbands. And I think because we don't have a lot of that in the Black community, because we are the last Black women, right, to get married, right? We don't equip our kids with those things. So I'm equipping my daughter how to be a great wife. She needs to know how to cook. She needs to know how to keep a nice house. She needs to know how to decorate. She needs to know how to invest her money and have things coming to the table. She's going to have her degrees. She's going to have her attributes and her characteristics and her femininity. So why not look for somebody that's equally yoked? Bring the resume to the table. I'm accepting all applications.
And in the credit report.
And the credit report. I need to know the highest of your 3 FICOs at the second date.
And it's not what it is. It's the level of responsibility that you're willing to
And that is my point. And so again, Catherine, you don't get me twisted. And I think that it's just about love and finances have nothing in there. Absolutely. Yeah. My point is finances can come and go. It could be 6 figures today. It could be 3 figures tomorrow. Or I could have 12,000 figures in my salary, but I don't know what to do with it. I know people who are blue collar with 5, they don't make 6 figures, but they know how to invest, they know how to grow, and they know what to do. That's my point. So whatever your salary, like if that's what's most important to you, that's what's most important to you. But it is important no matter where you put it. My point is that B side of marriage is going to challenge all of that. It's going to challenge all of that. And so the key is, if somebody gets laid off, have we put away for a rainy day? It's not just that you come in with 6 figures, it's that you know what to do with your 6 figures, or that you come in with the mindset that we want to grow this. And it is a learning curve, right? Because we're a different generation. We were just talking to our financial advisor last week. And the other generations, they didn't have the wherewithal to grow wealth. They knew, I'm going to scrub these floors so I can send my kids to college, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. As each generation knows better, we should do better. And then that's when we pour in our kids. So don't get me twisted and thinking that just because I don't say you got to come and match my 6 figures, that I don't think finances are important. What I'm saying is what you do with finances is more important to me than what that salary looks like right now at this moment, because that shit can change. Again, it's the B side of marriage. It's the B side. And I don't care about your damn 6 figures if the moment I get sick, you won't even help me wipe my behind or get out the bed. That's not going to matter to me, right? It's not going to matter to me if you experience the worst with me and you ready to roll out. It's the B side. It's the B side. And the B side, again, does include that financial. It really, 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 really does. So once you get into the marriage, ladies, before you get into it, prepare yourself and understand that it's going to be cute. Sometimes it's going to be cute and fun and la-la. And then sometimes you're going to be looking at your partner like, that pole don't look that great today. I'm going to need you to go on over there and leave me alone. Right? Or
that might be a day all week. You don't know. That could go on. Listen, that could go
honey,
on.
like that woman told us 62 years. There were years when we slept in separate bedrooms. It wasn't always we in love.
And Freeman Jones, AKFree.
Oh my God.
To piggyback on that, I have a friend, and he told me that. He said, his parents been together forever, and they sleep in separate rooms now, but they're in their 70s and 80s. Listen, and I don't see a problem with that, right? Because let me tell you, in the Italian tradition in their families, when they get tired of their husbands or their husbands get tired of them, she got a nice apartment that's paid for on the Upper East Side, and he's in New Jersey, okay? And they're both happy as little tax, right? And it is okay, but they're never gonna get a divorce. They end it into death, but and that's all right, because everybody's marriage and relationships take a turn. And whether you decide to stay in your marriage or you decide to dissolve it, that's okay too. But what will say, as long as that makes you happy, like whatever
Absolutely.
that you're making is for you, and it is not
That's it.
for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's not for
I
those
had to
children.
get over being afraid of it not working. Because sometimes, and I think we have all gone through this where you fear it not working, like, because no one gets married to get divorced unless you're trying to get a green card or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about things that are very clear, like this
And
is
how
why
much
we're
they
doing it.
pay?
I think it's okay. I think I am learning also to not be afraid of, if it doesn't work, that somehow I'm a failure. So in preparing yourself for that, because it may not be this, it was good for this season, now the season is over, or that it just wasn't right, but what gems am I taking from it so the next one can be better? I think, with the pressure of it must be right the very first time, or it must be right the whole time, I think is a false narrative, and it causes a pressure where you kind of go, well, if I did it, then I must stay in it until, no,
Yeah.
if you're putting everything into it for it to work, because that's key, because marriage is work. So that's another thing. If you prepare to be a wife, understand that it is constant work.
Constant.
Every day work to somebody is
Every
dead.
day.
It is work every day. It is work every day. It is work
Every
every day. You don't take a vacation from being a wife. You're always a wife. That doesn't mean, that's why that self-care is important. And that's why sometimes I think it's healthy. Sometimes with couples vacation separately. Go on with your boys. I'm gonna take a vacation with that's part of self-care, and come back together, as well as having that time together to yourself. But I think the pressure of not wanting to fail is something that we also have to get over, because it is okay to fail, because that's where the growth comes from.
Right. And I agree.
Wait a
But
minute, did you grab
let's
the mic
turn
again?
the page a little bit before we leave.
Huh?
Let's turn the page a little bit before because we have fellas on this call. All right.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
I agree, Tiana. I was like, I don't want to work that hard neither, but I know I might have to. But okay. She said that's why I'm divorced. No, I don't believe so. I don't want to work that hard even in a marriage, but okay. But fellas, on this call, and I also have a man in here too, y'all. I got a man in here.
Well, all right.
Not for me though. No, they just put them separated in there. I'm sorry, you guys. I have men on the call, so I would like for men to drop in the comment section. What are you looking for in a wife? You could drop one word, you could drop 3 words, you can drop a paragraph. What are you looking for? Because we had this talk and it's going on an hour and 30 minutes, and we might be missing the whole mark. You know what I mean? So men on this call, what are you looking for? What's the first 3 things the top 3 things you're looking for when you think about having a wife again, or you never had one before? It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm talking about making sure that she's healed. I'm talking about we talked about making sure that she knows how to decorate, she knows how to cook, she knows how to be a good mother, or she can outsource very well, right? If she is not good at cleaning up bathrooms, which I hate cleaning up, I definitely have somebody on call to come clean the bathrooms, right? So 𝐲𝐿𝐼 says, inspiration, I can be the best version of me, but that's me. That's me looking at me. So you're looking for a woman that can inspire you, basically. That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting him in the hot seat. What are you looking for? He's looking for peace. I know that's right.
Again.
And what does that look like?
Yeah.
And what does that look like?
You don't want her to be
That's
fussy.
a beautiful answer, Pumpkin. But what does that look like?
He's telling me. Hold on. I'm coming back, ladies.
Give him the mic.
He's looking for a peaceful partnership.
I'm going to need you to break that down.
Peace, lady. Peace, be still.
He said peace.
All right, so peace.
But what does that look like?
Maybe he's looking for a calm woman, right?
Okay.
He's looking for somebody that's not always like this. I know. I was just about to ask that question, but I was gonna leave that for off camera because he is for my good best friend, right? And
And I definitely think your partner should be a good balance for you too. We talked about being
Yeah,
complimentary, but I think because if you know you are 10, like you're always on 10, then you may work. I have a girlfriend who's always on 10. Like she knows that about her. She's always blah blah blah. And her man, he just
that's
go with the
me. I'm
flow.
a consistent 8.5. I can go to 10 at any moment. My husband is at
Hmm.
an even 4.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
the man just called me D. Call him D. Nice. Okay, he said kind, supportive, and confident. I'm all.
Nice.
I'm
Oh
all.
yes, confidence. Yes.
Confident.
I'm just
Yes.
playing.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
kind. Yes, somebody who
Hey,
don't cuss
P
out
nice.
the waitress at the restaurant, right?
Wait, what?
Huh?
What's wrong with the waitress at the restaurant? What?
Somebody that don't cuss out the waitress at the restaurant. Don't catch an
Yeah.
attitude. Send my food back. You ain't fixed this right. It ain't even hot. You know, you gotta be kind.
Yeah.
I actually, side note, went out with a friend of mine and I was trying to cheer her up, and she wanted to bring her friends. And I took them to a good restaurant, Houston's, and they cut up with the whole send it back and this ain't right and this is how I was at the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Don't need, not now one of y'all have a man. Not now one.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, right?
Keep it classy, ladies. Keep
It
it classy.
was
That
really
don't mean you
sad,
can't
and
get
it
down,
was
but keep
really
it classy.
and it said so much, right? In the level of misery that was happening in front of me, sitting
Yes,
there.
Queen Shocker, Q Shocker.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And so to have that happen, and I was seeing it, in real time.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's why all three of y'all don't have nobody.
And
Yeah,
I
the Q
have
Shocker.
girlfriends.
I love what Q Shocker said. I
Yeah,
love what Q Shocker show me who you are with others tells me a lot.
Yes.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And fellas, if y'all got a girl that you dating and she don't have no girlfriends, be careful.
That's a
Because,
problem.
because
That is
nobody
a problem. I
open
agree.
up and having friendships with her. I value my friendships, and my
Yeah.
good girlfriend T is here, and she don't like anybody. She don't like the way I value multiple people. and I value people. I value
Me
relationships.
too.
I do too.
And I
Mm-hmm.
thrive. That's why I'm a teacher, because I'm gonna bring this mic to my classroom, so I can build relationships, and I just like to surround myself with people. So that is true. Just call
And
him
that's
be
too
nice.
much pressure on you, gentlemen. If she doesn't have any friends, that means she's going to try to make you her everything. And that's too much. And that's
Yes,
And
not
that is
going to
not gonna
last.
last.
yes,
That's not
Ladies,
gonna
if you like,
last.
I don't need girlfriends. All I need is my man. Run, fellas. And
Run
the
for the hill.
opposite, ladies, if your dude don't have no friends and he's like, that's
Run.
too much.
too clingy. He gonna be too much.
It's
Yeah.
too
Somebody.
much.
Oh, hi, Lanaya, my good realtor friend, the realtor guru. She was on here with you, Ketasha.
Oh yeah, how you
Yeah.
doing?
Lanaya stepped into the room. Lanaya, this mic is when I have something important to say. It changed to that because somebody emphasized that I couldn't bake, so I had to bring it out. It was for negative people at first. I love my boo shavers. But Q Shocker says, I can't take the credit. Oh, that was TD Jakes, excuse me.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure, ladies, that we understand we have to cultivate. I like that word. Cultivate
Mm-hmm.
our best self. And when I talk about wifey in training, I'm not just talking about, because I could be in training, but that don't mean that God gonna give me a husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just in training to be the best version of what I aspire to be, right? So I would like to be a wife. I think I've been on the job training for over 13 years. Okay. And I
You
believe
needed
that,
the mic for that, though? You needed the mic for that?
yes, because that was too long.
Yeah. Oh, here's one for me, and this is personal. If he ain't trying to marry you after 2 years, girl, find you something else to do.
Don't stay too long. Don't stay too long.
Because if
Stay
you
too
ain't the
long.
one, I've had multiple guy friends tell me that they have been with women for convenience, knowing good and well they ain't gonna marry him. Had this conversation about 2 weeks ago. My boy told me I'm not marrying her, but I need to wait. But I need to wait till the other kids get out of high school before I can leave her because they have a baby together, and he don't want them 3 on child support. So He's gonna be with her until the other two graduate from high school. And I just looked at him. Ladies, y'all need to know these dudes is plotting.
Ah, come on. That's what I'm talking
They all plot.
Steve Harvey said 90 days. He already know. After the 90-day
They all
probationary
plot.
period,
You need to know. So
he already
don't be
know.
And
little
especially
dude
as you get older, I will say this: if you 20 in a 2-year engagement, that's a little different because but
Yeah, that's
as
different.
you get older, it doesn't take as long for you to
know what
know.
you. Yes.
Well, I'm talking about the 42-year-olds, me dating.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
You don't
it
tell
don't
them
take that long.
1.5.
It don't take that long. It don't take
I
that
have
long.
another
It
guy
doesn't.
been with a
And
girl
my last
for
relationship,
7
I
years,
told
and
him he had 1.5. I give him 1.5 years because in 1.5 years, I was going to be 43 at the time, right? And a half. And I said, that's how much because if you love me and you love everything about me and you want to go here and you want to do this and you want to plan and you met my kids, plans need to be made, right?
It
So
doesn't
I
take
think
long.
at the end of the day, D Nice said that a man knows in the first 3 months if your wife is
absolutely,
married or not. Y'all know.
My
absolutely.
husband and I, we knew almost instantly.
Yeah.
When I met him, I signed his napkin, Anissa Freeman Jones,
Ooh.
the day we met.
Ooh. You know what you did, right?
Manifest.
You met. No, she put a.
I knew.
She spelled it out.
I did.
You get
I
it?
did. I
Spell.
absolutely did. I
I didn't know
absolutely
day
did.
one, but I definitely knew. By date 3
That he was.
that he could potentially be the one. But I definitely knew by day 90 that this was my husband.
Yeah.
Probably between 60 and 90. You couldn't deny.
Absolutely. But ladies, again, if you're going out there, I'm gonna go back to the car thing. And Catherine, don't you have a party to get to?
Oh, colored people are late.
Okay, got it. So it's just like with that car shopping.
Uh-huh.
Before you go out there hitting 10,000 lots, and it shouldn't take you 2 years to figure out what car you want, right? It doesn't. It really doesn't. Same with the house or whatever. You know how much money you have to spend. You know what you can afford or what have you. Now, if you're still saving up, that's fine. I'm not talking about why you saving up the down payment. Why you saving up for the down payment, that's part of you getting ready. Narrow it down. You know when you get to that dealership, when we walked into this house, we knew this was it.
Yeah.
Contract same day. You know it doesn't take if you still looking if it's still been 3 years and you still looking for the right car and you got your down payment and your credit ready, then you're not ready to buy a car. That's just the end of it. You're not ready to buy that house because it really doesn't take that long when you do the preparation, when you have an action plan, when you have whatever it is that you need. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And ladies, if he's not ready, he's not ready, and that's okay. That's that man's business. You got to come out, and don't be afraid that there won't be someone else that will be ready for you when you're ready for them. Because one thing I learned, I used to think love was the most important ingredient in a relationship that's going to be successful. But what I have learned that timing is the most important thing, because you've loved other people other than the one that you with, but the timing wasn't right. Yep. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Yes. Everything.
Yes.
And it's precious, and you can't get it back. So
and you can't get it back. And I'm not.
So don't waste it.
My good girlfriend Tia on the call, she said that to me when we were having a conversation a couple weeks ago when we went out to dinner. She was like, "I'm not wasting my youth, right, on another man." She said, "When I marry," she said, "that will be my retirement plan." That's how she put it, because she said she needs to do some things now. That's not what she's looking for right now. She's not looking for a relationship because she got things she got to do. But when she is ready, you know what I mean? That's who she's going to settle with for the rest of her life, right? So you want to make sure, oh, yeah, she's still on here. But you want to make sure that you know exactly what you want. It's so much easier to go shopping in the grocery store when you have a list.
Yes, right? Lord. Yes.
So
and identify.
That's all I'm saying with dating, ladies. You do the same thing. You have a list, right? You know what you want. And know that those things are not etched in stone, and no man will suffice everything on your list. But what I'm saying is find out what's most important to you on that list and go with that. Go with your intuition, that first feeling. I thrive off of energy, right? If my energy fluctuates around this person, then he's not the one for me. And let me make y'all. I went on a date, and
Oh, wait a minute.
the guy on, first of all, he looked better in his pictures than he did in person. Let's start there. I got like 0.5 catfish, but not all the way. And he sat at the table, and we were at dinner at this nice restaurant, and he just looked so sad, right? I just saw through his soul. And I knew it wasn't going to work out because I didn't want him. Within 2 minutes, I sat at that table. I knew I didn't want him right there. And this is what I said to him. And I told him, I said, I would like for you to practice meditating or finding some type of outlet. I said, because I just went into my Southern spirituality on him, my 𝐖𝐲𝐶𝐢𝐴, because this brother needed some help, right? And ladies, make sure you know when it's a red flag, throwing the towel, it's time for you to leave. Cut the day short. Don't sit there. You know his tooth in the back is missing. Leave, right? If this is something that you don't want, don't say, "Oh, I could maybe get him to fix that." If he's 40 years old and he ain't fix that tooth that's missing in the back, in his smile line, it's over, right? Don't try and fix it. So that's all I'm saying. Just know what you want. She said the poverty too. And
well, teeth are very important for me. So again,
yeah, and how a man takes care of his teeth, how he takes care of his shoes, his children, and how he takes care of his credit.
Can we just have a moment for that, ladies? If a man, this is a wifey in training right here. Not only am I not gonna be with you, but I ain't gonna even be your friend if you don't take care of your kids. Because if you do them dirty, I don't stand a chance.
Period. Period.
So we have a life lesson.
Period.
Period. Now, my husband, he had kids. I did not have kids. My husband is an exceptional father. He's an exceptional father. And my daughter was born, and we got married 2 years later. And even if we didn't get married, I knew that I had a good father for my child. Because, it happens, right? We didn't plan it. It happened. But I knew that he was an exceptional father. You will get nothing. You gets no love if you don't take care of your kids.
Period. What? And that's friendships as well.
And if you fight for your kids,
too, I'm not here for it.
Friendships,
not at all.
Well, I'm not even gonna be friends with you.
I'm gonna look them up.
If you don't take care of your kids, because this shit is embarrassing.
And even if she's difficult, because some women make it very difficult to be. But if you're fighting, I'm going to get in a fight with you, and I'm going to help you fight for that. I need to see, because that's part of being a good father, because we know that there's some ladies out here that don't make it easy for a man. And ladies, if you one of those women, stop being mad at that man because y'all didn't work. Let him see his kids. Let him spend time with his kids. Let him pour into his kids. You chose him, and you chose to have that baby with him. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, I need a mic on that one. Stop it. But men, don't stop fighting for your children. Don't ever stop fighting for your children. And if I date a man and I know he's in a difficult situation and I see that he's fighting, that speaks volumes to me. Yeah, but if you are a deadbeat, if you're a deadbeat, it's dead for us.
Yeah,
nothing.
If I was 35, I would fight with him, but I'm not at this age.
But we're not gonna even be friends though. See, you're not my kind of people. It's deeper than that. You're not even my kind of people. So for the ladies, you want to be a wifey in training, baby, you got a hard way to go. If you get with a man and he's got kids and he's not taking care of his kids, you got a hard way.
Yeah, that's true.
You are not the You ain't the priority, because the people who came from his flesh ain't even the priority.
That part.
I mean, that's a flashing sign with neon lights and everything.
Right there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
and you know, no, I can't say that.
Why you can't say it? It's your show.
I tell y'all on the phone.
Okay.
But yeah, but that being said, and can we talk for a minute, ladies, about being a wifey in training? One of the things that has been my buzzword as of lately, because I'm also going to be 42 here shortly, and for me, it's just about having really good energy around me, and I've been successful over the last couple of years of curating that type of environment for myself. But character flaws. Can we talk about character flaws? I know Catherine spoke about the waitress going off on a waitress, but let's talk about male character flaws, right? So a character flaw may look like your dude, this new guy you're dating, maybe he dated one of his boys' girls. That's a character flaw. Or, he treated his mama bad. Character flaw.
I'm leaving.
Absolutely. Or he can't keep a job. Character flaw, right? Ladies, you a wifey in training, but this ain't no husband. This ain't a man that's trying to be no husband.
That's right.
Those are some signs. Those are some signs, especially at this age. Because if he dated his boy's girl, and we're not talking 25, 30 years ago when we was in college, that's a character flaw. Because I'll break, doing things when you're immature and young is one thing, but that's what you recently did, like recently, yeah, no. And I want to circle back to something you said, Catherine, that I also think is important. You're right. At 50, I'm not, going to date somebody if you still going through it with your baby mama. Like, I'll be your friend and I'll be your cheerleader. Yeah. But wifey in training, know what you getting into, right? Know what you're getting into, and either you're going to be down or you're not. But don't act like you're going to be down when you're not. No, if you can't handle it, then be honest. Just like we want the dudes to be honest, you be honest too. Know what you're getting yourself into when you're getting into this, because he may have all the other things, but there's some other things that may need to be. Know what you're getting into and be down to handle it. Like, there was a time I wouldn't date a dude with kids. But then as I started looking, like, at 35, I'm like, well, I narrow my pool if I just get rid of men who don't have kids the older I got. Right. So that's another thing. Like, some things may have to shift and change, but those character flaws she's talking about, those are also big, bright neon signs calling your name. They calling you like this. Don't do it, sis. Don't do it.
Don't
and don't get me wrong. We have all ignored signs. We all have.
Do it.
We all have, and that's why I know character.
Yes.
Flaws. Another thing.
D-Nice said. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ketasha.
No, I was just gonna say another thing is, and I guess what got me to my mate quicker was knowing your market. So, and what does that look like, right? So that looks like if you're looking for a man who's invested, has his own home, maybe is well established in his career, then you're not looking at a 30-year-old. Right. Sometimes women get caught up on age. Well, I don't want to date an older man, or I don't want to date a man that's younger than me, or I don't want to date a man if we're not the same. Women get caught up on age. It's an immaturity thing, but I've heard that before.
That's
true.
You're
looking for a man to hit a certain list, certain things on your list. There's a level of maturity that comes with that, and you got to acknowledge it. Know your market. I had made it up in my mind early at about 28 that I was not dating another man under 40, and let me tell you why. Because I'm not getting in a car, no 745 with no rims on it, so we could get shot. I don't care that you got Versace. I don't care that you still in the frat, going to all the frat parties, because you just got your MBA, you about 29, 30, and you still with the shits, right? Like, I'm not doing any of that. So we could talk about, he's, he has to be successful in all this, but let's talk about the other things that are on that list and how that translates. Because I was dating all the successful 30-year-olds. I went on a date with all of them in the city of New Orleans. I swear I did. But they were not what I was looking for after conversation number one. Why? Because there is a certain level of maturity that comes with the list that you have.
That's right.
And you've got to acknowledge that.
That's right.
Don't get caught up on age, right? And make sure you're paying close attention to character flaws. If a man treat his sister in his mama bag, you ain't got a chance, boo. If he treat his baby mama bad and it's tumultuous, it take two.
Yeah.
Take two. So make sure you clear that up and make sure you understand where that's coming from, because it could be him.
Yeah.
It could be him. Make sure you pay attention to that.
Yeah.
These are serious things. So if you're a wifey in training, this dude, he ain't your dude. That's immediate. You need to know that off the rip, because you need to know, hey, he's not good at building relationships. He's not good at maintaining relationships. He's also interested in what it looks like, what's on the surface. He's interested in that. He's not interested in something deeper. You have to pay attention to that. And there's just a certain level of maturity that comes with that.
Yeah.
So if you're wifey in training and you're over 30, don't be trying to date no 30-year-old. I'm telling you, ain't got nothing for you but dick and bubble gum. That's it.
Blue.
And I'm not into bubblegum.
There you go.
Me neither. It gives you cavity.
There you go.
So
Absolute.
I'm going to close this out, ladies. This was a great conversation. I really, really, really love this conversation. I'm going to have to bring the mic back out too in other conversations. So,
I'm going to need a mic for my birthday.
Yes, I will get you one. And last but not least, D Nice said, at this age, you got to have security and stability. And I appreciate that. And 𝐲𝐲 could just say he's fresh out of bubble gum. I hear you.
There you go.
Talking about.
There you go.
And I want to thank
And don't underestimate sexual compatibility. We'll talk about that wifey in training part 2.
Yes, absolutely.
I like
because there's levels, because it's levels to it.
Yes, it is. And I appreciate everybody who stayed on the call, especially my good girlfriends and especially my good guy friends, whether you're out in the NOLA or you're over here in the DMV with me. I appreciate everyone. And I know I just want to say I appreciate you too. Not only are you a great example for me, right? You can never be too old to have a good example, but you are a great mothers. You are a great wives and great women. Just great people, great human beings. And I have those great human beings in my circle. So wifey in training, ladies, make sure you have great human beings, great girlfriends in your circle.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and know that it takes a village to cultivate you and your children, and seek advice when you need it. Make sure you practice healing and taking care of those traumas that you may have. Also, make sure you dive into what it is to be domestic, right? What it is to be submissive, right? What it is to be a career woman and a wife, right? A career woman, a wife, and a mother. Know that all those things are separate, like the great AKFree just said. So I love this conversation, ladies. I learned a lot. The bubblegum, what you said? I can't say the D word.
Dick and bubblegum.
Good night, D Nice. D Nice said we all need microphones. Good night, D Nice. Thanks for hanging with us.
But thank you, ladies, and I shall
meet you. Good to meet you, Ketasha.
Too. Yes, and I don't normally wear my hair like this, but
I love it. I love it.
So this is what we doing today.
I love it. I was like, oh, she coming with the natural. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, and 𝐲𝐲, her husband is your frat. Okay, just letting you know. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Y'all enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend, and I can't wait for part 2.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes. All right. Bye.